Jason Hamill tries to bounce back from a pair of subpar outings as the Cubs go for yet another series sweep, this time against the division rival Pirates. We've got the game for you at 7 o'clock right here on Comcast SportsNet. And with that, we welcome you into SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business. Pat Boyle, Mark Chanowski with you on this Wednesday evening. It might be only August 31st, but the Cubs already planning their first champagne party. The magic number down to 18 to clinch the NL Central.
Yeah, the countdown's on and has Kyle Hendricks locked up a game 1 or 2 start at Wrigley in the postseason. We'll have that and a preview of tonight's tilt from the friendly confines. Sale and Verlander battle in Detroit. Plus, will Kyle Long be ready for the Bears season opener? SportsNet Central, and it starts right now.
You're connected to SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business.
Tommy La Stella was optioned to AAA back on July 28th. He didn't go. He went home. Eventually, he went to the minors. He was called up by the Cubs today. And Kelly Krull is at Wrigley Field with our Coors Light game report. Kelly, it's been an interesting month for Tommy. How was he received as he returned to Clark and Addison today?
Certainly, Pat, it sounds like a lot of soul-searching in a way for Tommy La Stella, and this afternoon he was not going to tell the media what it was that he said to his teammates. He felt like that was something that remains internal, if you will, but he said that he did ask to meet with all of the guys for 10 minutes, and he wanted them to hear his side of the story, and this is what he said to the media just a few minutes ago.
You know, I felt it was important at least that they had, you know, all the information on my side at least, and, you know, how I got to where I got to and the stuff that is personal to me, you know, I do feel comfortable relaying to them because, you know, those are my guys in there. So there's a lot of stuff that's personal between the injuries and just, you know, kind of my journey through the game and everything like that. It's gotten me to this point. But, you know, I understand that there's, you know, going to be people out there who, you know, kind of draw conclusions and stuff, and that's fine. I'm not necessarily out here to make anybody see anything or explain anything, as long as people, you know, understand that there are things out there that are kind of personal to me, and I've shared those with the guys, and you know, it's not necessarily going to be just like a cut and dry black and white answer where everybody goes, oh yeah, I get it now. There's probably, you know, that answer doesn't really exist.
Meanwhile, Joe Madden happy to have La Stella back, saying he could wake up in the middle of the night, hit a line drive on a 1-2 count. But as far as welcoming La Stella back into the clubhouse after what happened, the skipper said he took a common sense approach.
To include Tommy or label him within this group of as a malcontent or whatever would be absolutely incorrect and inappropriate. Tommy is a very thoughtful young man that thought a different way in this particular moment. Okay, let's try to get to the root of it, and we did. So I think at the end of the day, the common sense approach there was to talk to him about it. You know, why were you thinking that way? What do we need to do to help you right now? And we did. And now I could really foresee, from our perspective, him coming back now at the end of August into September and helping us get to the goal that we're looking to achieve, and hopefully that, and I believe that he's looking to achieve the same goal that we are.
Now, La Stella did say he felt very fortunate that Theo Epstein is a man who speaks to his players as people, and felt like if it weren't that way and Theo didn't handle it and have the type of dialogue he had, that this could be a completely different situation, Pat. And you ask about how he was perceived by the players, all of them very mum this afternoon on the subject. They really hadn't had the meeting yet with La Stella, so it'll be just a matter of time before we can talk to some of the players about how everything's going. But the most interesting thing I thought from Tommy this afternoon was that he said during the whole 3-week period, he didn't miss the game. He missed the guys. For Tommy, this is a much bigger situation, and it's about whether or not he wants to continue playing the game of baseball. But he did miss his teammates, Pat.
Well, the team was certainly patient with Tommy. Good to see him back from windy Wrigley Field. Yeah. Kelly Krull, you better ask Kaplan for his ponytail holder. All right?
Yes, I need one.
We'll see you during the game and during the post-game show. Time for our interactive question for you via Twitter. What do you expect from Tommy La Stella over the rest of the campaign? Use the hashtag Cubs Talk when tweeting your response, and we'll check in with some of those later on in the extravaganza.
And now to the White Sox. As you know, they haven't had much luck playing at Detroit's Comerica Park this season, but they had to like their chances this afternoon after all-star lefty Chris Sale on the mound facing Tigers veteran Justin Verlander. So both teams expecting runs could be at a premium in the series finale. Verlander, a bit of a mystery in recent years, battled through injuries and ineffectiveness, but he's pitching like an all-star once again, trying to match Chris Sale with 15 victories. He was dealing early. Verlander wound up going 7 strong innings, 9 Ks, no walks, but the Sox were able to get to him in the top of the 4th to grab the lead.
Stay in the air. Stay in the air. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Alex deep in the center field. Stretch. Stretch. And that ball's out of here. You can put it on the board. Yes, and it is back-to-back. 2-0 Sox.
Sox go back-to-back for the 6th time this season. Abreu with number 19, long ball number 5 for the former Tiger Avila. We move ahead to the home half of the 8th inning. Sale still on the mound, trying to protect the slim 2-1 advantage. He's facing the hot-hitting J.D. Martinez with a runner on third and 2 outs. And Martinez comes through again, drops a base hit into left. Sox starter left after 8 innings, winds up with a no decision for all his hard work. Now to the bottom of the 9th. We've seen this movie before. Closer David Robertson called on to pitch in a non-save situation. First man up, the rookie, Jacoby Jones. He goes oppo for an easy double. Jones now with 4 hits in his first 2 big league games. He would tag on a fly ball, move to third. Pinch hitter Tyler Collins, the game-winning run 90 feet away. He flies out to short left center. Jones tags from third and scores easily. A very feeble throw there by Avi Garcia. So for the 2nd day in a row, Sox bullpen is victimized. They get swept out of Detroit. 3-2 is your final. And afterwards, Sale didn't want to hear about that good pitchers duel the fans enjoy.
I don't come here for the experience. Come here to win games, and it didn't happen tonight. It's tough. It's unfortunate. We ran into a little bit of bad luck there. That's a good team, though. That's what good teams do. They find ways to win, and certainly did that.
Sale should have a lot more than 15 victories right now. On the positive side of the ledger, Jose Abreu has now reached base in 27 straight games, but look what he's done against previous Cy Young Award winners. 163 plate appearances. He's batting .290, .613 slugging percentage, 14 homers, 4 of those coming against Justin Verlander.
Speaking of Cy Young winners, has Kyle Hendricks locked up a game 1 or 2 start at Wrigley in the playoffs? Just one of the questions I'll throw at ESPN 1000's Jesse Rogers. Eddie Royal's time in Chicago's been marred by injuries. The Bears receivers hoping that's behind him, and he says he's ready to contribute this year. And after 2 successful drafts in the Windy City, it looks like the NFL draft will have a new location in 2017. We'll fill you in on those details.
SportsNet Central brought to you by Comcast Business. Comcast Business, built for business.
Hey, how's it going? Hotcakes? Hotcakes.
This place has hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
So why aren't they selling like hotcakes? With Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi Pro, they could be. Just add a customized message to your Wi-Fi Pro splash page, and you'll reach your customers where their eyes are already, on their devices. Order up. It's more than just Wi-Fi. It can help grow your business. You don't see that every day.
Introducing Wi-Fi Pro. Wi-Fi that helps grow your business. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Hey, Ralph Punzel.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Where are you headed?
Great Clips.
You're getting a haircut?
I checked in already. Using their online check-in.
Online check?
It saves you time.
You're getting a haircut.
Why? Thinking about applying to astronaut school.
That's cool.
Okay, I'll see you, Ronnie.
Save time every time. Download the online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Buffalo Wild Wings, you've got options. We've made it too easy for you. Simply call in your order or head to BuffaloWildWings.com and pick up at your nearest B-Dubs location. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Go big and pay small this Labor Day at Rent-A-Center. Get an Ashley sofa and love seat set, your choice, just $19.99 a week. Or grab a big screen 55-inch Vizio Smart TV, just $19.99 a week during the Labor Day sale, only at Rent-A-Center. Yeah, you can do that.
We're back with tonight's Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. With a victory tonight, the Cubs would finish August with a record of 22-6. That would be their best for a single month since 1945. In case you're wondering, their best record over the last 103 years, well, that's 23-3, which came in September of 1935. Comcast Business, Built for Business.
Joining us now live from Wrigley Field, Jesse Rogers from ESPN 1000. All right, Jesse, let's start with Tommy La Stella, called up in tonight's lineup. It's been an interesting journey for La Stella since he was optioned back on July 28th. He spoke to his teammates. Is everything smooth over?
It sounds like it. I really believe that. I mean, they have bigger goals here than trying to figure out why exactly Tommy left instead of reporting to AAA Iowa. Now he's back. Seems like things have smoothed over for him and his teammates. I'm not sure he gave a lot of answers that people will understand, and it sounds like also he's probably lost a little bit of the passion for the game itself, but not for his teammates. That's what he wanted to stress. He loves this team, he loves his teammates, and he's here to help the team, and that's the most important thing, I guess.
Well, I think the team did him a solid bringing him up today before the rosters expand tomorrow. You take a look at that lead now, 14 games in the Central over the final month with no real team challenging them. Jesse, do the Cubs need internal competition, whether it's the starters or position players, battling to make that 25-man playoff roster to get them ready for the postseason?
Well, certainly, yeah. The back end of the roster, the back end of the bullpen, even the rotation, there's competition all over there for sure. You're right. There's not a lot of maybe motivation day-to-day, game-to-game in terms of wins and losses, but staying sharp is absolutely important. This is a tough task. You have two issues here. One is when you're pushing for a division title and you have to play hard every day and your pitchers have to go hard. The other one is the opposite, which is what the Cubs are facing. You have a huge lead and you're trying to stay sharp. So it's the rust versus rest issue. Right now, the Cubs will fight the rust issue in the final month, but it's better than the other way, having to push, kind of like they did last year, at least looking for that division title. I think Joe Maddon will manage this very well, though.
Kyle Hendricks lowered his ML best ERA to 2.09 last night, barring anything unusual happening during the final month. Has Hendricks penciled himself into starting either game 1 or 2 in the divisional series?
I think so. I really do, especially knowing how good he's been here at Wrigley Field. Joe Maddon does look at those kind of trends, whether they're real or not. The bottom line is most likely the game 2 and game 3 pitchers are each going to throw one game. So why not go with the numbers? The numbers say Kyle Hendricks is really good at Wrigley Field. And you know what? Jake Arrieta has thrown 2 no-hitters on the road last year and this year. He can do the damage there that needs to be done. I think if the season ended today, it goes Lester, Hendricks, Arrieta, Lackey. That's my opinion, at least.
Great stuff, Jesse. Thanks for joining us. You can follow Jesse Rogers at ESPN Shy Cubs on Twitter. You can also catch him on ESPN 1000, ESPNChicago.com. Thanks, Jess.
You got it.
That's full-service Cubs coverage right there. Hey, remember when the Bears signed veteran wide receiver Eddie Royal before the 2015 season? Seemed like a good move, right? After all, Royal was only 28 at the time. He'd averaged 48 catches over 7 years with the Broncos and Chargers. Well, unfortunately, injuries limited Royal to just 9 games last season. He missed almost all of August this time around because of a concussion. But the now 30-year-old Royal is anxious to show Bears fans he can still be productive.
Every time you step on the field, you got to have something to prove, you know. You want to prove it to your teammates, yourself, your family, the guys that you're playing against, and you want to go out there and show them the type of player that you are. I'm no different. I want to go out there and make plays every time I'm on the field. Just missing that time, you know, just busting your butt all off season, trying to come in the best shape of your life. And then have something like that to sideline you for a little bit of time is frustrating just because you don't want to lose everything that you worked for all off season. And so I wanted to get back to running around as quickly as I could and get back out there with the guys.
Yeah, hopefully Eddie Royal can stay healthy this season. Another injured vet should be ready to go when full practices begin to get ready for the regular season next week. Kyle Long nursing a sore shoulder since the second preseason game, but John Fox is optimistic Long will be ready for the opener September 11th. Our Bears insider John Mullen says the return of a Pro Bowl caliber player will definitely be a boost for that beleaguered offensive line.
This is a significant return. Again, it's an interior line position that you rarely know about until they get called for a penalty or something of that sort. But in this case, it makes not one, not two, but three positions better on a key part of obviously what the Bears want to do on offense. Long is a Pro Bowl right guard. Allows Ted Larson to move into center where he is much more experienced than Cornelius Edison, who's been there. And with a more experienced center, you now have somebody else to help rookie Cody Whitehair at left guard. So the Bears are looking at that. They really haven't talked much about it. They don't like what the line has done, but getting one guy back is going to make three guys better.
Other NFL matters today. The league found no credible evidence that the Steelers' James Harrison or the Packers' Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers were given banned substances. Their allegations were made by Al Jazeera. The NFL said their investigation involved witness interviews, a review of relevant records and other materials, electronic research, and laboratory analysis. After two successful drafts here in Chicago, the Roger Goodell Hug Fest is moving to the city of brotherly love. Adam Schefter reports the city of Philadelphia and the Eagles will hold a press conference tomorrow at City Hall, making it official that the 2017 draft will be in Philly.
Probably a lot more booing from the fans in Philadelphia. Well, after putting together a solid homestand last week, the Sox gave their fans just a glimmer of hope. That's all gone after getting swept out of Detroit. And later, Cubs All-Star Dexter Fowler gets credit for an assist, this one coming off the field. He helps out some local families. That story when SportsNet Central returns.
The old dorm, if these walls could talk.
Stop hammer time.
I think the wall is talking.
MC Hammer? He can't touch this. And when you're hanging in the dorm, you shouldn't touch this or this. Here, use command hooks instead. Hold strong, damage-free. Just peel, stick, and ta-da! Then when school is out, stretch command hook off and ta-da, ta-da! Legit. Still legit. Oh.
What's happening?
Command, do no harm.
Great time for a shiny floor wax, no? Not if you just put the finishing touches on your latest masterpiece. Timing's important. Comcast Business knows that. That's why you can schedule an installation at a time that works for you, even late at night or on the weekend if that's what you need, because you have enough to worry about. I did not see that coming.
Don't deal with disruptions. Get better internet installed on your schedule. Comcast Business, built for business.
Hurry into Gurney Hyundai for the best selections before they're all gone without debris. Oh, I was thinking of something a little bit stronger, my dear.
Get to Gurney Hyundai right now and lease a brand new 2017 Hyundai Elantra for only $79 a month. That's right, only $79 a month.
Be sure to see us before you buy, my dear.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman's Gurney Hyundai on Grand Avenue right across from Gurney Mills.
What you doing?
Just checking my free credit score at Credit Karma.
What the? You're welcome. I just helped you dodge a bullet.
But I was just checking my...
Shh. Don't you know that checking your credit score lowers it? Just be cool.
Actually, checking your credit score with Credit Karma doesn't affect it at all.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Huh, so I guess I could just check my credit score then. Oh.
Check out Credit Karma today. Credit Karma. Give yourself some credit.
Sorry about that.
Tonight, the playoff push is on as the Cubs and Bucks meet one final time at Wrigley. Don't miss this must-see, can't-miss Central Division matchup. Cubs versus Pirates, starting tonight at 7 on CSN Chicago.
It's humbling for me to see that Pat has paid such a tribute to Randy and does it every day. And, you know, he didn't have to do that. Because he is, I mean, it's definitely his program now, and it's his team. And so he, you know, it's wonderful that he's done that.
Hard to believe it was a decade ago that Northwestern tragically lost football coach Randy Walker. Now 10 years later, Pat Fitzgerald uses principles from his mentor to carry on his legacy each and every day in Evanston. A walk to remember, that's later tonight on SportsNet Central after our Cubs coverage.
And Avi getting his shape. Here he comes, and here is the throw, and this game is over.
Not sure what happened on Avi Garcia's throw home on a potential sacrifice fly to short left center field, but runners safe. 3-2 Tigers win. They complete the 3-game sweep. Sox now travel to Minnesota riding a 3-game losing streak, and they are 6 games below the 500 mark.
It's tough. I mean, we're playing pretty good baseball, but these guys, they've been snipping us off at the end, and I think we played fairly well early on, and I think with the lineup they have, it's a pretty deep lineup that's hard to contain.
Just pick yourself up. I mean, there's no sense in stirring it up or focusing on anything. Just pick yourself up and be ready to win a ball game tomorrow.
Well, the math is really pretty simple. If the Sox had a better record against Central Division rivals Detroit, Cleveland, and Kansas City, they'd be a playoff contender right now. Robin Ventura's guys 11-29 against those 3 teams, 52-40 against everyone else in the majors. Here's our Sox analyst Bill Melton on the Sox continuing struggles within the division.
What we're going to have to do is build this team to beat those ball clubs. Kansas City, believe it or not, had a gazillion injuries this year, and they were still able to beat the White Sox. We have problems against the teams that we really have to beat, and until we start beating them, we haven't done in the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years. Minnesota, the wins are against a team like Minnesota that's really trying to rebuild and stuff like that. So it's hard to say, but boy, if you got to sit down and figure something out, that might be your #1 problem. How do I find a team or put it together that can beat those teams?
Back to the Cubs and put the radar gun in your back pocket and look at what he's doing. That's what Joe Maddon said last night after Kyle Hendricks pitched 7 shutout innings against the Pirates, lowering his ERA to a Major League best 2.09. And get this, no Cubs pitcher, not even Jake Arrieta last season, has led the National League in ERA since 1945. Kyle told our Layla Rahimi why he's been so effective.
I don't have the overpowering stuff, the 95-plus fastball, anything like that. So I have to make good pitches. I got to make my ball move, have the location. I'm pitching to contact a lot of the times. I'm not going to strike a lot of guys out. So with that said, that means there's a lot of plays behind me that need to be made. And with the defense we have here, really there's no weak spot at all. I mean, but some of the stars, Russell at short, he's unbelievable. Dex in center is always running him down. Jay Hay and Wright's made some unbelievable plays for me, but really everybody all around, there's always great plays being made behind me. So without any of that being done, I definitely wouldn't be sitting where I'm at right now.
Time for the Sports Business Insider, presented by Elk Grove Village, Makers Wanted. And this one comes from the Believe It or Not file. Disgraced Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte actually signed a new endorsement deal for a device called RoboCop, which sets off a shrill alarm to scare off potential attackers. Too bad Ryan didn't have one of those in Rio. Might have helped him out. Well, it's tough to follow that story, believe it or not. So we'll send you to break with a look at beautiful Wrigley Field. Cubs Pirates at the top of the hour here on CSN.
Hey, how's it going? Hotcakes? Hotcakes.
This place has hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
So why aren't they selling like hotcakes? With Comcast Business Internet and Wi-Fi Pro, they could be. Just add a customized message to your Wi-Fi Pro splash page, and you'll reach your customers where their eyes are already, on their devices. Order up. It's more than just Wi-Fi. It can help grow your business. You don't see that every day.
Introducing Wi-Fi Pro. Wi-Fi that helps grow your business. Comcast Business. Built for business.
We asked a group of young people when they thought they should start saving for retirement. Then we asked some older people when they actually did start saving. This gap between when we should start saving and when we actually do is one of the reasons why too many of us aren't prepared for retirement.
Just start as early as you can. It's going to pay off in the future.
If we all start saving a little more today, we'll all be better prepared tomorrow.
Prudential. Bring your challenge.
Attention females with ovarian cancer. Breaking news. A plaintiff who used a talcum-based powder and died from ovarian cancer has been awarded compensation for damages.
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer and used a talcum-based powder or other talc-based powders, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk.
Call 1-800-483-0812. That's 1-800-483-0812.
Earlier, we asked, what do you expect to see from Tommy LaStella the rest of the season? Robert says LaStella likely to show some rust early, with Joe being patient with him until he settles back in to eventually contribute. Mike says, I don't expect much, just a couple of pinch hit ABs with a start here or there. He'll most likely be on the postseason roster as well.
We're actually paying off all your layaway.
Thank you.
Finally tonight, before heading to Wrigley, Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler stopped by the Kmart on West Addison to surprise 43 families with the news that he's paid off their layaway balance. Today's $5,000 gift was part of Dexter Fowler's Howlers organization. Attention Kmart shoppers. That is that's a Cubby Blue Light special if I ever saw one. Thank you for watching SportsNet Central, presented by Comcast Business.
Bases Loaded is next, featuring that interview with National League earned run average leader Kyle Hendricks, followed by the series finale between the Cubs and Pirates. We hope to see you here later tonight after the postgame show.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
Should I start you or Julio this week? Julio? Nothing personal. You're something else, bro.
Without NFL.com fantasy football, what would friends talk about?
Hey, I had these really good carrots the other day. Nice.
NFL.com fantasy football. Fun, free, and easy.
My destiny said I belong in the city.
My destiny tried to tell me where to go.
They say everyone has a predetermined path, one we can't escape.
But my path, like my car, is my choice.
Visit MitsubishiCars.com and find the car for you.
Visit MaxMedicine.com. 0% for 72 to 84 months, plus rebates topping $1,500 and rebates and discounts from $5,500 to $7,500 at Max Medicine Mitsubishi Summer Clearance.
You always do this. You had a couple of pops in you and got cocky. Who's up for a game of wing roulette, you said? Because you thought it'd be funny to watch one of your friends get stuck with the hot one. But your friends, they got teriyaki, then spicy garlic, and then Asian zing. And now you're looking at the last one and you're thinking, my God, what have I done?
Right now, save big on tires and wheels with our Labor Day deals. Use Discount Tire credit and save up to $320 when you purchase select tire and wheel packages. Discount Tire, where America saves on tires.
200 million watching history be made. 2 million making their own. 5 seconds gained. And a nomination won. When it counts, the biggest moments count on Comcast Business. With $5,000 of NBC coverage for the games. Over 900 miles of fiber laid for the Democratic National Convention. 40 pit stalls monitored at once for NASCAR. And 10 terabytes of data transferred for the big game at Levi's Stadium. We know what it takes to connect millions. Imagine what Comcast can do for your business.
I'm Layla Rahimi, and this is our half-hour show as we lead you up to first pitch between the Pirates and the Cubs. Thank you once again for joining me as we serve up 30 minutes of nothing but baseball. The Cubs go into this third and final game of the series looking for a sweep thanks to an outstanding all-around performance last night. It was Anthony Rizzo who got the scoring started for the Cubs with a 2-run smash in the first inning. His 26th home run of the season was enough run support for Kyle Hendricks. The Cubs righty dominated the Pirates, striking out 4 batters in 7 scoreless innings of work in the 3-0 final. Hendricks is leading the National League in ERA and threw only 99 pitches for his 13th win of the season. And Kyle Hendricks is good, even better than he imagined, and he's even being mentioned as a Cy Young candidate. His second half has been sparkling, 6-1 with a 1.34 ERA. And does that look familiar? Last year, Jake Arrieta went 12-1 for the Cubs in the second half with a .75 ERA, which helped him earn the Cy Young Award. Hendricks has opened some eyes, including those of the Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, who believes Hendricks is Cy Young worthy.
I wouldn't see why not. I think you need to get over the fact of just look at the numbers. Don't put names on things and look at numbers. The numbers are real. And I think it gives every kid that's a pitcher hope out there. You don't have to be 6'4", cut, 225, and he's a pitcher. Flat out, a really good pitcher.
Of course it is. It has to be. It has to be Cy Young contention. There's no, again, put the radar gun in your back pocket and look at what he's doing. That has to be strong consideration, not just consideration. And the other thing is wins, and this guy has really been victimized by lack of support on certain nights, even only 3 runs tonight. Again, you got to look through that sometimes and really, this is the time if you really want to utilize numbers, really, dive in there and see what's going on. It's been very, very impressive.
It means a lot. I mean, in a way, just where I was at last year, my goals kind of coming into this year, what I was trying to do, I definitely didn't see myself being a part of that, at least, or I had my sights set a little lower, so to be up there, I'm just taking it in stride. But again, in order to stay there, I have to keep doing the same things I've been doing, consistency, keeping a simple mindset.
Let's take a look at the Cubs starting lineup for this third and final game against the Pirates of the series, and look who's there. Tommy La Stella, called up from AAA Iowa on Wednesday. He is batting 7th, batting .295. That is his average in baseball, and addressed the team earlier today. That said, let's head out to Wrigley Field. That is where we find our Cubs insider, Patrick Mooney, and that's a great place to start this discussion, Patrick. We begin with the fact that not only is Tommy La Stella here before the September 1st roster expansion, but he's in the starting lineup. What does that say about his relationship with the organization?
Well, Layla, Theo Epstein just said that they had actually planned on bringing him up on Monday, but they first wanted to see how the state of their pitching staff after a long West Coast trip. They decided to wait a couple extra days. Joe Madden likes the matchup for La Stella against the Pirates. He's called him 3 a.m., this guy who could roll out of bed in the middle of the night and hit line drives. So I think, as soon as the Cubs decided to go down this path, that they didn't immediately release him or try and dump him in a trade and took this kind of softer tactic, I think it was inevitable because, they still don't have that left-handed bat off the bench that they really wanted and needed. And La Stella realizes that he's very fortunate to have probably the most liberal manager, in a very conservative industry, and that Theo Epstein's front office is very progressive. They take this holistic view towards player development and even have an entire mental skills program. So I think Theo kind of put it this way, that he thought La Stella was misguided more than malicious, and as soon as they were willing to kind of entertain this idea, you kind of knew he was coming back.
Now, Patrick, you wrote a great article on CSNChicago.com discussing the mental parallels between Jake Arrieta at one time in his career and La Stella. What was your takeaway from the understanding the team seems to have toward his situation?
Well, look, it's hard enough to get 25 people to agree on any topic, much less something like LaStella, which is almost unprecedented, even in Theo's view. He's never dealt with something like this. But I do think, LaStella's not a bad guy, and until this point was not a disruptive force within this clubhouse. And he does have certain allies like Jake Arrieta, who admitted that there were times as he bounced between Baltimore and their AAA affiliate that, yeah, he thought about quitting, that, he was at this point in his life where it wasn't just his dream anymore. He had a wife, a kid, and another one on the way. And, I spoke with Jake yesterday on the 1-year anniversary of his, no-hitter onesie at Dodger Stadium. His message was, stick with it, see what happens. And he had, been in, texting with LaStella throughout, his holdout. I think that's probably where the parallels end. I mean, Jake, has an extreme passion for this. He's extremely devoted to his craft. And, I'm not sure if LaStella's quite there yet, that he admitted, he has no idea if he wants to play the game next year, that he's more interested in being with his teammates than the actual kind of mechanics of the game day to day. But I think at the end of the day, the Cubs need, LaStella's talents. They've kind of made this bargain. And Jake Arrieta fully believes that Time and LaStella can help them win games down the stretch.
Well, he's batting 7th, so he gets some time to figure that out, doesn't he? Patrick Moon, live from Wrigley. We look forward to your reports on CSNChicago.com tonight and your tweets, of course, Mooney. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, the Cubs continue to stay hot in August. They are 21-6 this month and have crushed 36 homers in 27 games. The team ERA is at .257, and opponents are batting just .206 against them. Happy to be joined by our special guest from Wrigley Field. It is Kyle Hendricks. Kyle, another shutout win for you. Your ERA is now at .209. And last night we heard your manager, Joe Maddon, make a case for you to get the Cy Young. What does that mean, having that support?
It's unbelievable. Obviously very humbling, but for guys to be speaking out on my behalf, my teammates, it means a lot to me, I rely on all those guys. The type of pitcher I am, I have to have the rapport with the catchers. I have to have the infield behind me making the plays. So I think there's a lot that goes into that number and the accolades that come along with it. So for me, it's just trying to keep this consistency going. Our sights are a lot further, than this regular season, obviously, with this team. So keep my body healthy and know what I need to do come October.
Well, I think that gives me a chance to ask a good question. We know what type of pitcher you are on the mound, but when you say that, what does that mean to have the support of, say, your catcher, obviously your infield, your outfield, and your manager as well?
Yeah, I don't have the overpowering stuff, the 95-plus fastball, anything like that. So I have to make good pitches. I got to make my ball move, have the location. I'm pitching to contact all of the times. I'm not going to strike a lot of guys out. So with that said, that means there's a lot of plays behind me that need to be made. And with the defense we have here, really, there's no weak spot at all. But some of the stars, Russell at short, he's unbelievable. Dex in center is always running him down. Jay Hayden Wright's made some unbelievable plays for me. But really, everybody all around, there's always great plays being made behind me. So without any of that being done, I definitely wouldn't be sitting where I'm at right now.
Well, Kyle, you've been open about how you've used advanced metrics to your advantage starting early in your career with the Cubs. What was your mindset then about being open to it, and how is it helping you now?
Yeah, I guess along those same lines, I knew I didn't have the overpowering stuff, the high fastball or the nasty curveball, anything like that. Advanced metrics or video, whatever you want to call it, those are things that I had to use to my advantage. So when I came up here to the big league team, there are a lot of guys that put in a ton of work to make scouting reports for us, provide us with all the information we could ever need. So I start with that, and then I kind of dissect what plays into my game, go from there, watch some video, see some actual swings from guys. One of the biggest parts of that, though, is taking it into a game, and that's where a catcher comes in. The pitcher-catcher relationship, you hear about it all the time, how important it is, but all three of the guys we have here, even Wilson, how young he is, he just really picks up on everything that's been told to him. All the scouting reports, he's able to take it right into a game and put it into action. It just makes it much easier for us as pitchers when we're out there.
Now, Kyle, we know your nickname is the Professor because you went to Dartmouth majoring in economics. And I have to ask, how much does your knowledge of economics ever come up in your daily job?
I would say pretty much none. And that's just how I like it, you know. Yeah, obviously was very fortunate to go to a school like that, but at the end of the day, baseball's my love. Baseball is what I definitely want to be doing. So as long as I can have that ball in my hand, take the mound, that's what I'm going to be doing.
I did love what John Lester said, though, when he called you the professor of gemology. It's a nice compliment from him. How would you describe the personalities you have on this starting rotation?
It's pretty special. Just from the onset, I guess I'm in a very fortunate situation to learn from all these guys. All the 4 guys we have in our rotation, they've been around, they've had successful careers, some of them won World Series, you know. So while I have my own routine and I'm my own pitcher, to be able to watch them, almost their mindset, their dedication in between their starts, and also how they manage a full major league season from start to finish, you know, when to push their body a little bit, when to kind of push the brakes, take some off. Just learning how to manage that whole season. I've had some unbelievable mentors.
And then finally, you guys had the onesie trip coming back from L.A. We didn't get to see all the pictures, Kyle, so you have to tell us who had the best onesie and why.
My favorite might have been Cahill, Trevor Cahill. He had like a full dragon suit, hood and everything, tail. It was awesome. He had to sit on the tail for the 4-hour flight, you know. Couldn't have been comfortable, but I went with a little giraffe print. Mine was pretty standard, but there were some really funny ones.
Wait, why did he have to sit on the tail? I think you can move it or at least change on the plane. That wasn't an option?
No, I mean, you just gotta stay in uniform, stay in full uni for the whole flight. That's how it is.
That's hilarious. So then you also had to see Ben Zobrist with the Rocky muscles as well?
Yes, he was Rocky the whole flight. His kids loved it. They loved it the whole time.
Well, that's awesome. Bringing the facts both about your style on the mound and the uncomfortability of wearing a onesie with a tail. Kyle Hendricks, thank you so much for the time here on Bases Loaded.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
I seriously thought that was a Ninja Turtle onesie, but that's what Kyle Hendricks brings. Excellent pitching and onesie knowledge. By nickname alone, he's been linked to Greg Maddux, and look how they compare. During their age 26 season, which of course is right now for Hendricks, Kyle's 2.09 ERA and an 0.981 whip are both better than Maddux, who won the Cy Young Award in 1992 before he headed to Atlanta. To the White Sox, who have struggled in their division. Against the AL Central, they are 20-32 on the season with an ERA of 4.47 and opponents batting at .274. It is game time, and we now welcome in Chuck and Bill. Guys, what has been the White Sox Achilles heel this season? The offense overall or the struggles against the American League Central? Bill, you get to lead off for us because Chuck went first last time, so you start making your case.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, this is an offensive ball club that we thought the first 5 or 6 weeks had it really all together, but from that point on and probably the middle of May, we just kind of fell off the map as far as getting big hits and hitting home runs with men in scoring position. I think the problems have always been, especially in the last couple of years, is how do we match up against Central Division teams? We really haven't done well. Our pitching staff goes well against everybody else and get against the Central, and for some reason they jump all over you. Because I think when I look at it, there's guys that are very familiar with our starting staff, especially our top 3 left-handers. They know to jump on them early. They're able to do it. They have a lot of speed. It's about the only way you can beat pitchers like this. So I think the Central Division has been probably our Achilles heel.
Well, if the White Sox had a better offense, they would win more games in the American League Central. But really, it is the big problem, I think, overall, is their struggles against the Central, because they've had a good enough offense to beat everybody else in Major League Baseball. And specifically, if you break it down to the 3 teams ahead of them in the standings, the Tigers, the Indians, and the Royals, the White Sox are 11-29 against those 3 teams. They are 52-40 against everybody else. So if they would have just played .500 ball against those 3 teams, they would right now be in the hunt for a playoff spot right in the thick of things. But as a result, as it is, they can't beat these 3 teams. And this has been going on since 2012. It's got to change, and hopefully it changes next season, because I don't know if Bill and I can take any more of this. Wow. It's been really rough. I mean, we see too many tough losses against these 3 teams, and a lot of them are close games. They easily could have flipped the script completely against all three of these teams, but as a result, those three teams have the confidence and the ability to beat them time and time again.
This will wrap up the season right here. 70 or 71 games that will be decided, win or lose, by 2 runs or less for the White Sox.
And they've been in, I think, 46 one-run games, and they have a losing record in those games.
Guys, I agree with you both. I think the numbers don't lie, and you both actually brought them as well. Chuck, you seem more upset than Bill, who seemed more calm. So I'm going to give you the nod, especially with those numbers you brought up against the AL Central's top 3 teams.
So what do I win? What do I win?
I know I have some gold stars at my desk.
Okay.
Does that
I got a
count?
gold star for this.
Bill, do you want a gold star too?
No, he's got all the numbers. Even when I played, I never worried about the numbers. No big deal.
I think, Bill, you've got some numbers yourself as far as like major league totals are concerned. There's always that. But yeah, my vote goes to Chuck, but you guys are both right. Thrilling debate as always. Thank you guys for joining me on Bases Loaded, and don't worry, we're all here for you. They really don't believe me, but we are. We are just getting started on Bases Loaded, and on deck we head to Motown, where Jose Abreu continues to sizzle in the month of August. Plus, it's time to play some playoff prognostication with our Kelly Kroll. Who should start Game 1 for the Cubs, and will Tommy La Stella be on the playoff roster? Decisions as we take a live look at Wrigley Field. Cold and windy. Cold front came through, and we are just getting started here on Bases Loaded. Much more coming up.
Welcome to Honda. See anything you like? Yeah.
Now is the moment to get the Honda Civic you love, voted 2016 North American Car of the Year at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
Hey, Ralph Punzel.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Where are you headed?
Great Clips.
You're getting a haircut?
I checked in already. Using their online check-in.
I'm dying to check.
It saves you time.
You're getting a haircut.
Why? Thinking about applying to astronaut school.
That's cool.
Okay, I'll see you, Ronnie.
Save time every time. Download the online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Every 6 seconds, a Domino's pizza lover's dreams are dashed by one Sally Soul Smasher in the group who wants a salad instead.
Eat a pizza once in a while. Luckily, we love pizza so much, we're introducing salads to our menu.
So nobody can veto pizza night.
So tell those lettuce lovers, listen up.
There's no reason to ruin pizza night now.
Order a medium 2-topping pizza and a delicious Domino's salad for only $5.99 each.
Pizza's good.
Now let's head out to Wrigley Field. That is where we find our Kelly Kroll for a little playoff prediction. Now, Kelly, earlier this week, Jake Arrieta said the hottest Cubs pitcher should start Game 1. Do you agree with Jake? And who do you think that pitcher is right now?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think that was Jake's way of kind of playing the humble team first card, if you will, in a way. Certainly the guy that's the hottest right now is Kyle Hendricks, but I say you still go with Jake Arrieta in Game 1. He has the experience. We watched him last year in the wild card game. He knows what that kind of stage will be like in front of this crowd, the emotions going. He can handle that night. That's not to say Kyle Hendricks can't. I kind of think the formula right now is Kyle Hendricks in Game 2, and then you go with John Lester on the road as your definite winner in Game 3. So right now I'm going Jake Arrieta in Game 1.
Now, Kelly, let's say the playoff roster is down to one man and it's one left-handed bat. Do you go Miguel Montero or today's call-up Tommy La Stella? So we put you on the spot. Who would be your final choice?
Well, the business move appears to be right now Tommy La Stella as that lefty bat off the bench. But I think you have to keep in mind that Miguel Montero behind the plate with Jake Arrieta has been the best bet. Looking at numbers with Wilson Contreras, 11 earned runs Arrieta has given up in just 3 games. So you have to keep in mind if Jake Arrieta comes out in that first game and he's not quite on, it's Montero who can work him back and get him to where he is back on track. And so I think this is a very tough decision. Tommy La Stella is your guy right now, though, Layla.
And then finally, Kelly, let's talk some middle relievers in a high-leverage playoff situation. Who do you trust more, Justin Grimm or Carl Edwards Jr.?
Lots of tough questions. There's a good thing that there's still a month of baseball left, but certainly between those two, you're going to have Madden go with who's best in that situation. It's always about matchups. He trusts both of those guys. C.J. Edwards, you've seen him in some high-leverage situations already this year, but Justin Grimm has the experience. Once again, a guy who's been there and done that. C.J. Edwards hitting some uncharted territory in terms of innings pitched right now. So how will he feel? How will he look in another month? We don't really know, and that is why Madden, Theo, and Jed Hoyer get paid the big bucks, and not me, Layla, because they have to make those decisions. But I think C.J. Edwards right now is who you're seeing Madden give a little bit more of that time to.
Kelly Kroll from Wrigley Field, stay warm. I see you got the jacket on, and thanks for the time. And how about this game earlier today? Two dudes who know how to pitch, squaring off in Detroit, Chris Sale and Justin Verlander. This game was right here on Comcast SportsNet earlier today. Verlander began the game on a tear. He was just rolling through White Sox batters. And then he had 6 strikeouts through the first of 3 innings. White Sox get to him in the 4th, though. That's Jose Abreu, his 19th home run of the season. Next man up, Alex Avila, who didn't miss on the low fastball, crushing his 5th home run as the Sox go back-to-back for the 6th time this year. Those would be the only 2 runs Verlander allowed over 7 innings pitched. In the 8th inning, Chris Sale still on the mound, looking to protect a now 2-1 score. There's a man on third for J.D. Martinez, who was batting .410 since coming off of the DL. Does it again. An RBI single into left. The Sox starter leaves after 8 innings of work. Sale earns a no decision. Into the home half of the 9th. David Robertson pitching in a non-safe situation. And the first man up, the rookie Jacoby Jones. No, not the football player, the baseball player. He goes the opposite way for an easy 2-bagger. Jones now has 4 hits in his first 2 major league games. And after he tagged on a fly ball and moved to third, pinch hitter Tyler Collins had the game-winning run 90 feet away. He flies out to left. Jones tags from third and scores easily on the sacrifice fly to win the game. So for a 2nd day in a row, the bullpen gives away late runs at Comerica Park, and the Sox get swept out of Detroit by 3-2. A bright spot continues to be Jose Abreu in August. In 27 games, he has cranked 8 home runs and batted .362. His 1,061 OPS is awfully impressive. And one important stat that can't be measured, his son got to watch him play in the United States earlier this month. We're coming right back to wrap up this edition of Bases Loaded as we get you ready for the 3rd game of the Pirates and the Cubs series after this.
I've been thinking, this might be the one thing in the world you pull apart to come together.
New Papa John's Cinnamon Pull-Aparts, covered with cinnamon crumble and sweet cream cheese icing. Try our new Cinnamon Pull-Aparts for just $6.
Hey, Papa John's.
Right now, save big on tires and wheels with our Labor Day deals. Use Discount Tire Credit and save up to $320 when you purchase select tire and wheel packages. Discount Tire, where America saves on tires.
Golf is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. It's all about the green at Continental Motors. 8 locations, thousands of choices. And every Continental Motors dealership has a special offer for you to save some green. Acura, Audi, Honda, Maserati, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, and Toyota. New or used. Save big during the Continental Motors It's All About the Green Labor Day sales event. Now through Monday.
Some things work better when they're connected, like your HD DVR, connected to the internet now and catch up on the shows you've missed, even entire seasons all at once. Plus, get instant access to over 10,000 shows and movies on demand. Connecting your HD DVR is easy and it's free. Go to directtv.com/connect to learn how.
Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Why not? Chicagoland Skydiving Center was voted the best in the U.S. with a perfect safety record, a one-of-a-kind environment, and round-trip shuttle service from downtown Chicago. Come experience the greatest adventure in the area. Chicagoland Skydiving Center in Rochelle. Visit us at perfectlygoodairplanes.com.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you.
Call Adolescent Growth today and see how our proven treatment programs for eating disorders can begin to bring the sunshine back in the life of your teen and your family.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
We're actually paying off all your layaway.
Thank you. Before heading to Wrigley Field, Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler stopped by the Kmart on West Addison Street today to surprise 43 families with the news that he had paid off their layaway debts. Today's $5,000 gift was part of the Dexter Fowler's Howlers organization. And we all know the Cubs have the best shirt game in baseball, and Ben Zobrist has a new one. He posted it on Instagram. The nickname Zorilla stuck while I was in Tampa Bay, and I think it's pretty cool as far as nicknames go, he said. Thanks to Cork Baseball, I have it on a Cubs Colors t-shirt. Number on the back, too, sick, #W for the sweep tonight. And the Cubs are holding a retirement party for David Ross. They posted this video to Facebook, and Ross even got his own face cake, except it's an emoji cake, which is way better anyway. So how about that? I thought the whole season was a retirement party, but who doesn't love cake? Thanks for watching Bases Loaded here on Comcast SportsNet as we get you ready for first pitch. It is Jason Hamill against the Pirates coming your way next. Cubs postgame live is immediately following the game.
Everything you're looking for is right here. I'll be here if you need me.
Watching in slow motion as you turn around and say, oh, take my breath away.
Find anything you like?
Yes.
Now is the moment to get the Honda you love. KBB.com's 2016 Best Value Brand. Hurry in. The Honda Summer Clearance event ends soon.
My Allen USB port, the USB port that looks suspiciously like a sofa. It's probably the best looking USB port ever and only $7.99. Plug in your devices and binge watch in extreme comfort with my Bobopedic seating. Plus dual power recliners and dual power headrests. Get the USB port that looks suspiciously like a sofa or the one that looks like a console love seat in dark chocolate or light brown. Each only $7.99. Untouchable and only at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
This is not the land of good enough. Americans don't celebrate the Good Enough Canyon. We didn't aim to be second to the moon. Verizon doesn't settle for good enough either. So now we're introducing Verizon LTE Advanced, powering America's largest, fastest 4G LTE network ever, with 50% faster peak speeds in more than 450 cities, coast to coast. Welcome to the next-gen network.
What makes Wendy's Baconator different? While other guys use frozen beef from far away, Wendy's only serves fresh beef from ranches close by, so we don't have to freeze it. Add 6 strips of thick Applewood smoked bacon, and Wendy's Baconator isn't just different, it's deliciously different.
This beer is true to its roots. Brewed only in Golden, Colorado, and nowhere else, ever. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
That gets away! Cubs win 5-4, the final, and they engineer the sweep. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He got him on the curveball. Called strike 3. Cubs win! Cubs win, Miguel Montero! Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. It is a gorgeous fall-like evening here in Chicago as we get you set for Game 3. The Cubs going for the sweep over the third place Pittsburgh Pirates. And welcome to Cubs baseball here on CSN. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. It's been a great year. It's been a great month of August.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. Remember, the Cubs had a losing July, the only losing month they've had over the last 2 seasons. But boy, did they really turn things around here in the month of August. 21-6, most wins in a month since May of 1977. A great winning streak to start the month. 5 series sweeps, tremendous individual performances. Kyle Hendricks with a .28 ERA this month. Chris Bryant right there in the conversation for player of the month. You see what the starting pitchers have done. So they roll into September with a lot of momentum.
Rosters will expand tomorrow night, but the Cubs made a move today. Tommy La Stella is back, and he is in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, good to see Tommy back. He met with the media earlier today. You saw the numbers. You see the numbers, excuse me, he put up this year, batting .295. Tough left-handed bat, handles velocity. Right in the lineup tonight. Tommy out there playing second base. Spencer Patton optioned back to Iowa.
Veteran right-handers tonight. Ryan Vogelsong for the Pirates. Jason Hamill on short rest after a short start his last time out. Cubs go for their 14th sweep of the year. Next.
Jack Link's Jerky presents Working Out with Sasquatch. The cornerstones of any serious fitness program are exercise, diet, sleep, pectorals, and hair. All of which are part of Working Out with Sasquatch and protein-packed Jack Link's Jerky.
Protein, amino acids, good for the hair muscles.
Fan! Jack Link's Jerky, a protein-packed snack packed with protein.
Just bought a 2016 Mini from Bill Jacobs and could not be happier. The service is top-notch.
Honestly, it's the best car buying experience my wife and I ever had.
These are the reviews we get all the time from our customers. As soon as you walk through the door, you'll know this is going to be different. The showroom, the cars, but most importantly, the people. Because at Bill Jacobs Mini in Naperville, it's the cars that bring you in, but the experience that brings you back. Get 0% APR for 72 months on the 2016 Mini Countryman or hardtop 4-door models. Details at BillJacobsMini.com.
The summer clearance event is here at Feeney Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Elgin. Get our lowest prices on our entire inventory. Cars, trucks, minivans, and more Jeeps than we need. All with 0% financing available. Look at this 2016 Wrangler, just $299 a month. Or a 2016 Ram 1500 Quad Cab, $299 a month. Both with zero due. Or this 2016 Dodge Caravan, only $16,997. Find it at Feeney, FeeneyAutos.com.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the ballpark. It is now sweatshirt weather. A little wind coming off the lake, but clear skies above. Has a bit of a postseason kind of vibe to it. Pirates and the Cubs. As the Cubs go for the series sweep, we mentioned Tommy La Stella is back in the mix on the roster. He will be in the starting lineup tonight. Let's hear from Joe Madden.
Yeah, Tommy's back. It's good to have him back. He's playing second base tonight. I've said it before, the guy could wake up in the middle of the night, hit a line drive on a 1-2 count. Hopefully we're going to see that again today. He's been interacting with the guys. They've accepted him back, so it's time to move forward.
And if you're unfamiliar with the story, he was sent to AAA Iowa in late July. He did not report at that time and went home for a few weeks, eventually returned. Played 8 games combined at Tennessee and Iowa. And he is back one day before the rosters expand.
Yeah, and I can't speak for Tommy. I'm guessing if he had to do it all over again, he would have just reported. But he was going through a bit of a crisis with his professional career and decided not to report. But he's back and ready to play. And I think it's smart that Joe's got him right in the lineup tonight. Just get right back after it.
Weather has changed, and that's okay. Think about football weather, but I'm kind of thinking more, it feels like postseason weather.
Get everybody primed up for the postseason.
We still have over a month to go before the regular season ends.
So cool weather can be uplifting for the players this time of the year after, a hot stretch, hot month. Get into some cooler weather. Get a little more bounce in the legs, a little more energy.
Cubs' magic number to clinch the division is 18. And time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Giants will be here tomorrow, coming off a 4-2 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Dodgers lost the first of a split doubleheader at Colorado 7-0. So right now the Giants one back in the West and leading the wild card. Pirates were a half game behind the Cardinals when this series started. And now they're 2.5 out. St. Louis is in Milwaukee to play the Brewers tonight.
And the Mets right there 2.5 back as well. They've been surging. They won 8 out of their last 10. So Terry Collins' group may be poised to make a push.
I said a little bit of a breeze off the lake. It's gusting at the moment. And it's coming almost directly out of the north. So the conditions a little bit different tonight than what we saw in the first 2 nights of this series. And the other interesting factor is Jason Hamill coming back on short rest, although he threw just 39 pitches on Saturday in Los Angeles. So he swaps spots with Mike Montgomery, who will pitch tomorrow night against the Giants.
Yeah, obviously with the short start, Jason certainly capable of coming back and making the start here tonight. And when you look at the Pirates lineup, it makes sense to have the righty go against Pittsburgh. They're far better against left-handed pitching than right. So Jason will make his 26th start of the year here tonight.
Now the Pirates Southwest starting a lineup. Last team to be shut out this year, and that happened on June 17th at Wrigley Field. 4 times they've been blanked since, including last night. Harrison, Bell, and McCutchen at the top. Polanco, Marte, Cervelli in the middle. Only change in their lineup is Sean Rodriguez playing third for David Freese. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, hits 8. And the 39-year-old right-hander Ryan Vogelsong bats 9th.
Cubs defensively brought to you by Arby's. Soler, Fowler, Hayward. Left, center, right. Third to first will go Bryant Russell with Tommy La Stella, Anthony Rizzo, and behind the plate Wilson Contreras. Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. Jason Hamill, 13 up, 7 down with a 3.21 ERA. He's made 2 starts against the Pirates this year, won them both. Lifetime 7-5 with a 3.78 against the Buccos. Keep an eye on McCutchen. He's got really good numbers against him, as does Cervelli.
Now the umpires tonight, Tony Randazzo, the Chicago native, back at the plate. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first. Tom Woodring is at second. And Brian Knight over at third. Harrison to start it. Hamill comes in with a 1.79 ERA at home, second in the majors to his teammate Kyle Hendricks, who has a 121. First pitch fastball, 4-strike on Harrison. Fouled away.
Pun intended. Jason may be out there with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder tonight. Maybe not eating the potato chips, though. It's cooler here tonight, so he might not have had to go to the potato chip. But clearly upset when he got removed from that game in L.A. after 2 1/3 the other day.
Why wouldn't you eat a potato chip, though?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be hot and steamy to justify the consumption of potato chips.
We talked about it. All the Cubs have pitched really well here at home. If you look at the top 11 qualifiers in home ERA, the entire Cubs rotation is in that group. 2-2 on the ground, not hit very hard. Russell booted it. Timing was a little off, and it looked like right at the end he realized he was going to have to rush it a bit, and he missed it.
Yeah, and I think the key word there is when you said slowly hit to shortstop. So I think he was maybe taking a little peek, see if he could find Harrison, get a sense of how much time he had, and came up empty. That's a rare misplay by Addison Russell.
Well, Josh Bell, the switch hitting first baseman, getting his major league career off to a quick start. 2 home runs, both have come against the Cubs. Big lead by Harrison, and he just gets back in time. Harrison got picked off by Kyle Hendricks last night. "70 degrees, but that lake breeze makes it feel more like probably 63, 64.
Bell proving to be a very patient hitter. He's walked in 22% of his plate appearances so far. Yeah, it's a small sample, granted, but still impressive. He's only struck out a couple of times. So batting .355, .488 on base, .613 slug for the big switch hitter.
Do you believe in omens?
Do you believe in ghost stories, Miss Turner? What do you got?
Well, there were 6 games played earlier today, and the home team won all of them.
Wow.
2-0. So if you believe that that's a good omen, then Cubs should win tonight. We know that it really doesn't matter, but
and if you believe in just the odds, then the Cubs are in trouble. What is today, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday. Yep. Hit well to deep left. That's caught by Soler on the warning track. Off the bat, I thought that ball would be over his head, but he ran it down.
A cool north wind knocking that one down a little bit. Bell hit a home run into the left field bleachers the other night, and this ball I think was hit probably harder than that one was, but it stays in the yard, and Soler run a little down, out, and down, hauls it in.
Brings up McCutchen, who has hit in 8 in a row. And he'll just try to carry his August into September. This has been by far his best month of the year. And ball 1.
333 or tree hitter against Jason in his career. 12 out of 36, and 12 of those hits have left the ballpark.
Batting .292 here in August. Hamill to first again.
Harrison was looking a little twitchy there. Stolen 19 bases. He's been caught 4 times. A little bit of a lean. The thing is, a base stealer, if you get picked off, you can't let it shut you down. Can't get timid.
Could be 2. 5 to 4 to 3. LaStella able to hang in there and turn it as he got knocked over by Harrison. So the error does not hurt the Cubs. Welcome back, Tommy.
Get your projects done with help from Menards. 60-pound bags of concrete mix are great for patios, walkways, or setting posts. Just add water, mix, and pour. Get 4 bags for $9. Get a paint with a tradition of proven performance with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Exterior Paint and Primer in 1. It has dirt shedding technology and resists cracking, peeling, and fading. Get a gallon for $24.98 after rebate. Now during Menards Labor Day construction sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Right now, save big on tires and wheels with our Labor Day deals. Use Discount Tire Credit and save up to $320 when you purchase select tire and wheel packages. Discount Tire, where America saves on tires.
I've been thinking, this might be the one thing in the world you pull apart to come together.
New Papa John's Cinnamon Pull-Aparts covered with cinnamon crumble and sweet cream cheese icing. Try our new cinnamon Pull-Aparts for just $6.
Hey, Papa John's.
It's the recon mission for Tango 165. The endless search for the best berries. A midnight run for tacos al pastor. And the empty roads of Dawn Patrol. This is summer driving. During the Mazda Summer Drive event, get 0 to drive lease offers on any new 2016 Mazda.
DirecTV is at it again with another so-called deal. With a $60 intro rate that jumps to over $100 after just 3 months, then shoots up to over $150 after a year. The hits just keep on coming because you're locked into a 2-year contract that can cost over $3,300. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Switch to an X1 double play from Comcast and lock in your rate for 2 full years. Call or go online today.
The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Dexter Fowler gets a hit, Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Cubs Southwest starting lineup: Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo at the top. Soler, Hayward, and Russell in the middle. We mentioned LaStella in there playing second. Contreras catching. And Hamill, the pitcher, batting .250.
Pirates defensively, Clint Hurdle is staying with pretty much the same group. It's brought to you by Arby's. The lone difference being Sean Rodriguez making a start at third base here tonight. 6th time he has done that. Other than that, same group of position players that we have seen the first 2 games of this series. The Lexus starting pitcher is the 39-year-old Ryan Vogelsong.
1-0 to Fowler is fouled out of play. Hard to believe Vogelsong's 39, but yeah, he's been around a while. He was drafted by the Giants back in 1998.
3-3 with a 3.02. 7 starts, 10 times out of the pen. Yeah, proving that you can go home again twice. Started with the Giants, left, came back to the Giants, was with Pittsburgh, left, came back to Pittsburgh.
First time around as a Pirate, he was not very good. And he ended up spending several seasons pitching in Japan. Came back, bounced around at AAA before becoming an unlikely all-star with the Giants in 2011. He owns 2 World Series rings with the Giants.
A great story of perseverance. At that 2011 season, the first time he had pitched in the big league since 2006. Kitchen sink guy, fastball, slider, curve, change.
Sinker just off the outside corner. And it's full, 3-2.
Surprise, surprise. Fowler with a full count. Quality baby, first run of the night right there. Rocking the headband.
Called strike 3. Career perseverance for Vogelsong, and also this season. He got hit in the face by a pitch in May near the left eye. Facial fractures. Underwent surgery on June 2nd. So he missed all of June and all of July rehabbing. Came back on August 4th. Bryant bounces foul. This is not for the squeamish. Jordan Lyles of the Rockies.
92-mile-an-hour fastball. Late to react, like he never really saw it.
Bryant in the air. Deep left. Gone. He's got the National League lead again. Number 36.
One of the leading candidates for Player of the Month in the National League. Chris Bryant. It's a little spinning but not breaking slide ball. Looks like maybe a curveball anyway. It's a home run ball. Home run replay. Mr. Bryant circling the bases for the 36th time this year.
Had to double check. Arenado did not go deep in the first game of their doubleheader. Seems like every time one guy homers, the other guy does too. So he now has 22 hits during his 13-game hitting streak. Last night it was Rizzo who homered in the first inning.
It's all Kyle Hendricks and company would need.
One and one. Yeah, that's how you hit a home run to left on a night like this. Keep it with that low trajectory. Under the wind, as they say. Think of a small room, not very well lit. Some people sitting at a table, and that group of people is they. So whenever somebody utters that, as they say,
it's them.
It's them. On the ground, it's the third baseman, Rodriguez, and he gets Rizzo 2 outs. Now Soler in the cleanup spot tonight. He's had a really good series. 4 hits, including a game-tying home run Monday night in the 9th. So I was just thinking about Joe's roster, which will expand a little bit tomorrow. Cubs will bring a few guys up on September 1st, and then I'm sure early next week, after minor league season comes to an end, we'll see a few more. He has choices to make on a daily basis. He really has more than 8 starting position players tonight, as he gets La Stella in there. Not an everyday guy, but getting a spot start in his return. Ben Zobrist is on the bench, and so is Javier Baez. So the bad news sometimes, if you're a fan sitting at home going, man, you know, Baez has to be in the lineup. Well, he's on the bench, and that just strengthens that area.
Yeah, I think Joe does a real good job of keeping everybody involved. Because, you know, it's not like, and I don't want to take a shot at him. The kid we had last year, we used to wear the bucket on his head all the time. Jonathan Herrera, yeah. And Jonathan was he was a kind of an exception in that he could sit there for 2 weeks and not play, and then come in and help you win a game. But he wasn't a guy that Joe was ever going to give a lot of at-bats to. This group, you know, all these guys merit getting a lot of at-bats.
The fact that you described him the way you did, and I immediately knew who it was, is kind of funny. Yeah, and makes me sad too.
He was a fun player.
Yes, he was. He started the whole helmet rub thing, kind of poking fun at Starlin Castro. He'll get back out of play.
He could have gotten pretty good odds if he had wagered that Herrera would be here all year last year.
Two balls, two strikes. And the pitch is high. It's full. Hayward is on deck.
Olgasong lifetime 61 and 71 with a .439 earned run average. It's probably going to come down.
To win, you got to run him out. He did. Play tricks on those pop-ups tonight. Harrison's got it. Yeah, he had a little trouble seeing it here. This dusky sky. Chris Bryant with his National League leading 36th home run, and the Cubs lead 1-0 after one.
Go big and pay small this Labor Day at Rent-A-Center. Get an Ashley sofa and love seat set, your choice, just $19.99 a week. Or grab a big screen 55-inch Vizio Smart TV, just $19.99 a week during the Labor Day sale, only at Rent-A-Center. Yeah, you can do that.
This beer is fiercely loyal. Brewed generation after generation, only with Moravian barley. Coors Banquet. That's how it's done.
Everything you're looking for is right here. Oh. I'll be here if you need me.
Watching in slow motion as you turn around and say, oh, take my breath away.
Find anything you like?
Yes.
Now is the moment to get the Honda you love. KBB.com's 2016 Best Value Brand. Hurry in. The Honda Summer Clearance event ends soon.
Your home, your auto. They just go together. Combine your home and auto insurance with State Farm. Save time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to your State Farm agent today.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Your Coors Light game report. Tommy La Stella back out at second. We've been talking about his return here tonight. He met with the media after having met with his teammates, telling us he felt it was very important they hear his side of the story, his explanation behind how he handled this last month. And he said he wouldn't share that conversation with the media. It would remain internal, but he was very grateful for how his teammates listened and supported him. But guys, the thing I found most interesting was that La Stella wrapped up the conversation with the media saying during that 3-week period, he didn't miss the game. He missed his teammates, and he is back here playing for them now.
Kelly, thank you.
It's a sentiment sometimes you hear from guys when they retire, that they don't miss the game as much as they miss the camaraderie, being in the clubhouse. Because a lot of times when you retire, the game isn't so kind to you anymore.
Right. The train keeps rolling.
Yeah.
And moves along with or without you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you talk about Herrera. I think about Chris Denorfia, guys that have played a part and all of a sudden they're gone, and where'd he end up?
One strike on Polanco. Everybody's going to have an opinion about this, and that's understandable because it is a unique situation. I guess I would just say my opinion of it is, once he comes back to the clubhouse, his teammates are cool with him, at least from a professional standpoint. The manager's cool with him. The front office is good with him. He's back. Nobody else's opinion outside of the clubhouse really matters.
No, it doesn't. And there's a lot of chatter about distractions and things of that nature, and that's malarkey is what that is.
Called strike 3. Polanco caught looking. You'll take it.
Yep.
Marte now. .45 knocked in, and he has stolen 46 bases. He thought he pulled the bat back.
I thought he went.
Bill Miller said no, that he did.
46 stolen bases for Marte, good for third best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had it out there long enough.
Almost 0-1, swing and a miss.
Good change. Try to jam him here.
And he just bloops it over the head of Rizzo, and Marte is on his way to second. He's got a double. First hit
fast
for the Pirates.
He can really scoot. Yeah, they're trying to tie him up inside with a fastball, and I think if it's up higher, on the hands, probably gets a weak little pop-up, but the ball was down a little bit, and he was able just to drop the head and flip it the other way. And off he goes. They got two Martes now. They've got a rookie left-hander in their bullpen, Calvin Marte. So get all your double Marte puns ready or whatever.
Francisco Cervelli.
He's got a very big lead.
Marte has 3 out of 6. Trying to steal third.
There's that sliding mitt on his left hand. I'll protect the digits.
And if someone makes a pizza in the clubhouse, he
take the pizza out of the oven.
Inside on Cervelli.
Cervelli,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. As you were saying.
Well said. I was going to say Cervelli has not hit a home run this year. He has the most plate appearances of anybody in the MLB without a long ball. As I knock on wood.
Past the mound. Russell almost tripped, but he makes the play. A little trouble with his footing.
And after making that error in the first inning, I imagine the panic factor was running pretty high for Addison as he pursued this one. He had a little bit of that baby giraffe thing going on there, taking his first steps. He was able to maintain his balance and make the play.
So Marte is at third, 2 outs, and it's Sean Rodriguez, Pirates version of Ben Zobrist or Javier Baez. Play a lot of different positions. He swings and misses.
Yeah, he likes to swing and he strikes out a whole bunch, just about a third of his plate appearances. But he'll also walk and he hits for power.
Wilson Contreras leads the majors in check swings checks. You even think about swinging and he's going to appeal. It's in there for a strike on a slider. 1-2.
Yeah, he's like the attorneys in the TV shows. Objection, objection, objection. Loves to throw to the bases too. Start to wander, he's going to take a shot at you.
In the air and way out of play, foul. And the Dodgers got shut out 7-0 in the early game. Colorado, they're down 5-1 in the first in game 2. Norris gave up a grand slam to Steven Cardullo in his first major league home run in the opener. This knockdown Contreras.
He's rather cat-like behind the plate, is Contreras. Very quick and nimble.
Can he jump over a candlestick?
He can, and he's much improved too, just technique-wise in blocking balls.
Diving stab, Chris Bryant. So he's been worth a run on offense, and he just saved a run on defense. Speaking of nimble, not bad for a big guy.
Dear Chicago, let's take a trip out of Midway to your favorite international destinations. With love, Southwest.
Everyone wants better chicken. Him, her, even that guy. It's true. And that's what you get at Subway with the new Chicken Caesar Melt. Rotisserie style chicken that's raised without antibiotics. Topped with a savory Caesar sauce, melted provolone, and Parmesan cheese for a taste that's deliciously unique. It's exactly what you, him, her, and those guys all asked for. The new Chicken Caesar Melt from Subway. Because the best way to stay fresh is to never get stale.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon. In the nation's largest independent study by Root Metrics, again, Verizon is the #1 network.
Hi, I'm Jamie Foxx for Sprint. And I'm Jamie Foxx for T-Mobile. And we're just as good.
Really? What national awards have you won?
None.
Exactly. Only Verizon was ranked #1 nationally in data, reliability, text and call, and speed. And you're going to fist pump today?
Don't get fooled by cut rate networks. Get the best. And now get up to 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones, 4 lines, and 16 gigs for just $150. Only on Verizon.
The Kia Top Quality Sales Event ends September 6th. But you can still get great deals on the sleek Optima and Optima Hybrid, as well as the Forte Sedan and Hatchback. Right now, get 0% APR for up to 66 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. Or 0 down, 0 due at signing, and 0 first month's payment on select models. Visit Kia.com to see how Kia Quality performed against the competition. The Kia Top Quality Sales Event ends soon.
Hey, Cub fans, the best availability for tickets during the final homestand of the regular season is the Reds Series, September 19th through the 21st. Don't miss your chance to catch a game at beautiful Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets.
Well, some people bundling up if they can, if they came dressed appropriately. And a called strike on Jason Hayward as Cubs bat in the second. Snapped an 8-game hitting streak last night. 0-2. So I would imagine if you polled every major league player, particularly position players, guys who play every day, they all probably have one routine, one thing they do that's a little quirky to get ready for a ball game. Do you know what Jason Hayward's happens to be?
I do not.
He doesn't do it every day, but he probably puts his full uniform on earlier than anybody in the clubhouse. That's caught by Marte. It is not out of the realm of possibility for a 7:05 first pitch that by 4:15, if the Cubs are not taking BP, he's got his uniform on. He said, now if someone stole your uniform and gave it back to you at 6:45, would you be able to function? He said, yeah. He said, then you go hang out? Could you kick your feet up and rest or something? He goes, yeah. It's just part of my routine.
Just likes to do it, get that part of it over with.
Yes, he said, the one thing I know when I put my uniform on early, that is off the list. So that's not that weird. It's just different.
Maybe he's had some dreams where the game's about to start and you can't find, that dream we all have,
Yeah.
you can't find the classroom or you can't find your shoes or something. So maybe he's had one of those. He's just taking that right out of play.
Right. 1-1 on Russell. So do you know of any stories of teammates you had? And I think some of his teammates occasionally might rib him a little bit. Like, hey, Jay, come on, man. We got 2.5 hours. Ground ball to short. Backhanded by Mercer, and he gets rid of it quickly. Dug out neatly by Bell. Any little quirky things that you did or
I'm trying to recall. I had a teammate in a college summer league, and this dude was as redneck as they get. And he used to come in after BP every day. It was in the Shenandoah Valley League in Virginia, really hot. And he would come in and shower in his uniform after BP.
What?
Yeah, he'd just go stand under a cold shower in his uniform, then go sit by his locker and semi-dry off, and then go out and play the game.
Wait a minute. You play the game in a soggy uniform?
Yeah, I'm not sure what was.
Are you really getting the benefit of a shower if you have your clothes on?
Yeah, I don't know what his thinking was.
Okay, that's weird. Stella hits a ground ball. Harrison in short right, and that will end the inning. 5 in a row retired by Vogelsong since the Bryant homer. 1-0 Cubs after 2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Ankin with legendary sportscaster Steve Stone.
And I know the right team knows how to win, like Howard Ankin Law Office.
If you or someone you know needs help with an injury case, I'm here to help. Please give me a call.
Put Howard's number in your phone right now, 312-6 million.
Hey, stop by Bass Pro Shops this week for clearance savings of up to 35% on camel clothing, accessories, cold weather gear, and hunting boots to match every outdoor condition. And check out the Fall Hunting Classic online sale going on now at BassPro.com.
Here's the pitch. Cubs win! Cubs win! Miguel Montero will be mobbed.
Here we go.
If you're battling addiction, it's not easy to ask for help. It's hard to admit you really need it. Call and end addiction. Call and connect with representatives from a treatment center or rehab facility. Some insurance plans help pay for the cost of treatment. Be sure to check your policy or call your agent to see if you're covered. The first step to ending addiction starts with one private and no obligation call. There are things you still need to do. The first thing is to call and end addiction.
1-800-210-7616.
A message from the Sentinel Group. For decades, many Americans working in the trades were exposed to environmental hazards without their knowledge. While the dangers of one such airborne threat, asbestos, have long been known, efforts were made to hide the risks from the public. The result is thousands of cases of asbestos-induced mesothelioma each year. Act now, don't wait. Call right now.
Please call 800-514-0542.
Time now for the Lowe's home field advantage. How good has Jason Hamill been at home this year? That good. 12 starts, 8-1 with a 1.79 ERA, a paltry 184 batting average against. 62 punches, 25 walks. One of those wins coming on May 13th against this Pirate team. He allowed just one earned run in 6 2/3. He's pitched scoreless baseball his last 3 starts here, his last 5 at Wrigley Field. He has an 0.55 earned run average. Sounds familiar. It's very similar to what we said about Kyle Hendricks last night.
1-0 on Jordy Mercer. Eight, 9, and 1. One and 2 the count.
It's well below the knees. A difference maker. 1-2 as opposed to 2-1 is a big swing. Jason's nickname this year should be Aberration. He's given up 55 runs, 20 of them coming in 2 starts. And they weren't all earned. He gave up 10 earned to the Mets back on July 1st. 10 runs 2 starts ago in Colorado. 6 of those 10 were earned up in Denver.
Strike 3 called. Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Vogelsong without a hit so far this season, 0 for 10. He's a career 139 batter. Cubs are 21-6 in August. Called strike 3. 3 punch outs, all looking for Hamill.
Looks like Tony Randazzo is going to have a fairly generous strike zone tonight. Pitchers would be wise to bang away at the corners. Down around the knees. Make a living out there, boy. Just pound away. I don't know if it get too tricky if that's going to be a strike.
Harrison bunted through that pitch, which might have been a changeup.
Yeah, he's thrown at least a couple of right-on-right changeups here tonight. Changeup pitch he doesn't use all that often, but I think he's starting to develop some feel for it.
0-2.
Like he's got a new toy.
This is the first 21-win calendar month the Cubs have had since 1977. Last time they won 22 in a calendar month was 1945. Chance to tie the club record for August. They went 22-6 in 1932. Two and two. Ground ball backhanded by Bryant. He's going to bounce the throw. It looked like on purpose. Harrison thought he was safe. I didn't think it was that close, but he did.
Clint's giving the we want to take a look at this wave to the umpires. I think they may be wondering if Anthony pulled his foot. The throw clearly beat him.
They will not challenge this, I don't think.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Nope. And Clint says we're good. Bottom of the third, it's 1-0 Cubs.
During baseball season, I don't have time to travel to the wine country, so I do the next best thing. I take a tour from Napa Valley to Bordeaux at Binny's Beverage Depot. Over 7,000 wines from 6 continents. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
There are 93 days of summer. Head to the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now. Hit red lines across state lines. Hug new turns like old friends. Or just open it up on an open road. Summer's going fast, so don't waste a minute.
Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
We went to Hollywood to ask if America's favorites, burgers, tacos, and chili, could taste just as great made with turkey. Thousands stepped into the Genio tasting booth to find out. With just one bite, they knew. Now it's your turn to make the switch.
Nobody should go to bed hungry.
That's where our friends at Binny's Beverage Depot are going to bat for the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Every time the Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Binny's donates $100 to help feed hungry families in Chicagoland.
That calls for a toast.
Well, the Cubs like to give back to the community. Their players do a lot of great work, and Rob Zasprizny brought Cubs pencils and smiles to the teachers and staff at Nettlehorst Elementary. And you see, took some great pictures as well. Wilson Contreras swings and misses. Cubs batting in the third, leading 1-0. We'll have more on Dexter Fowler a little later, as he made a fun visit around town as well.
Rob should have challenged those kids to spell his name. Free pizza on me if you can spell my name.
Over but low. 1-2. Contreras, in his first major league plate appearance, homered on the very first pitch. It was against the Pirates in June here at Wrigley. Also hit the big 2-run homer in the 8th on Monday to start the comeback. Father's Day weekend. Off A.J. Schugel. Hasn't looked back. Called strike 3. Not quite as happy at the moment as he was on that replay.
And it's always fun to watch a young player come to the big leagues, and he brought so much energy, still does. Shaking hands with the home plate umpire when he made his debut.
Fouls upstairs. Happy 83rd birthday, Tim Donahue. Born on this date, 1933. Grant Hospital, as it was called then, on Lincoln Avenue. Hamill held 1-2.
Shares a birthday with Hall of Famer Frank Robinson.
Birthday number.
Frank. He's got to be 80-ish, 81-ish, somewhere in there, I'm guessing.
Toward first on the ground. It'll take Bell right to the base.
Frank is 81 today.
Okay.
Take home a game used or autographed item and help benefit Cubs charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities. Visit Cubs.com/authentics today. Frank Robinson, born in Beaumont, Texas, August 31st, 1935.
Outside, ball 1 on Fowler.
Here's a good Fowler note for you.
Okay.
Dexter has the highest batting average in Major League Baseball on pitches faster than 94 miles per hour.
Wow.
Hitting up over 400 on such pitches.
It's a good note.
He can handle the cheese. Pirates continue to play this extreme outfield positioning with Starling Marte, the left fielder, very cozy to the left field line. We've seen this all series long with the Cub left-handed hitters. This pitch away, play away mentality in the outfield. And I think it's also with the infield shifting the other way. stops what might be a fairly harmless ground ball to the right of the third baseman from turning into a two-base hit. McCutchen, as per usual, very shallow in center.
Full count with 2 outs. You know, Vogelsong doesn't want to face Bryant this inning. And he won't.
Good night to pitch.
So Fowler has been caught looking twice. And at the end of 3, it's 1-0 Cubs. Two quality babies.
What if one piece of kale could protect you from diabetes? What if one sit-up could prevent heart disease? Wishful thinking, right? But there is one step you can take to help prevent another serious disease, pneumococcal pneumonia. If you are 50 or older, one dose of the Prevnar 13 vaccine can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, an illness that can cause coughing, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and may even put you in the hospital. Even if you've already been vaccinated with another pneumonia vaccine, Prevnar 13 may help provide additional protection. Prevnar 13 is used in adults 18 and older to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. You should not receive Prevnar 13 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. If you have a weakened immune system, you may have a lower response to the vaccine. Common side effects were pain, redness or swelling at the injection site, limited arm movement, fatigue, headache, vomiting, muscle or joint pain, less appetite, chills, or rash. Get this one done. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13 today.
The Ford Freedom sales event is on, and our biggest event of the year just got bigger. Just announced 0 for 72 on Ford F-Series, giving you freedom from interest. Plus, specially tagged pickups now get a $1,000 smart bonus. America's best-selling trucks 39 years straight are built Ford tough. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on Ford F-Series. Plus, specially tagged trucks get a $1,000 smart bonus cash.
Tomorrow, Buster Posey leads the Giants, while Chris Bryant powers the Cubs in a must-see, can't-miss MLB matchup. Beginning at 6:30 with Cubs pregame live, presented by Fields Auto on CSN+.
Mark Shanowski invited to join Pat Boyle and me for SportsNet Central after the Cubs postgame show. Reaction from inside the clubhouse, plus the impact of Kyle Long's return on the Bears' offensive line.
Fans, when you think mortgage in Chicago, think eClick Lending with rates at all-time lows. Don't wait. Lock in your low rate today with eClick Lending. You never pay lending fees. Point, click, save. eClick Lending.
There are similar lines. Hamill and Vogelsong, similar pitch counts. One difference is Vogelsong has given up a home run. Hamill has kept the Pirates off the board, each with 3 strikeouts, all looking in the first 3 innings. 1-1 on Josh Bell. Bell clubbed one to the warning track in left his first time up. Popped up off of third this time, and Bryant makes a catch right at the barrier.
He's diving one way. He's drifting into the seats. He's hitting home runs.